We welcome you again to the men's character building session. Those that are watching on YouTube, we welcome you to this session. I believe it's a time where we can actually build men of integrity. A lot of times you look around in our society and there's a lack of quality men. Mm-hmm. You know, has someone ever actually gave you a word and says, hey, I promise you I'm going to do this for you. Mm-hmm. And time again, it's almost like they just
forget.
They say, oh, I forget. They just kind of treat their own words as if it's no value. Yeah. You know, yeah. Along for those days where when someone said something, mm-hmm. They really meant what they said. Mm-hmm. You know, back in the days, they would shake my hand, Joshua. Yeah. They would shake hands and make a deal. A transaction, a business deal, based on that word.
And that be word.
Yes. Yeah.
Your word is your bond.
Your word is your bond.
Yeah.
That's when I was growing up I grew up in New Jersey, high school in New Jersey, and back those days, everybody, on the cool tip, everybody, are just in that mode. But one thing that we used to say is a term we used to say, word is bond.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Word is bond. That means that when someone said something to you,
they meant it.
They meant it.
Yeah.
They meant it.
Oh yeah.
All right. So now God gives us this word so we can live a successful life.
Successful, prosperous life.
A prosperous life. Yes. Imagine for a moment, everything in your life is clicking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's clicking financially.
Everything.
Everything.
Health.
Your health.
Yes.
You're able to have
more than enough.
Yeah, I think you're getting out of my mouth there. More than enough that you can help someone. You sometimes see needs and you say, man, I really want to help this individual, but because you're lacking in that area, you cannot help that person the way they should.
Amen. Amen.
All right.
Amen.
So now the Lord says that I want you to establish a group where you can build the character and the integrity of men. And that's the purpose of this group right here. Yeah. No matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, you can build a foundation where you can build. You know, back in the time you see someone is getting ready to build a very large edifice that may be carrying a lot of weight, they spend a lot of time on the foundation. Mm-hmm. You know, you go to Dubai, you see all those various buildings that they're building. Before they start erecting, like one day they put the condition and they start going up. No. They go down deep.
Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah.
They run the rivets, the anchor points all the way deep. Because what happened is that it's building that structure for your life, for everything to pivot off of.
Yeah.
All right. So, for instance, a person that doesn't have a strong foundation. Exactly. We see sometimes these football players. Yeah. The limelight is not on, the light is not on, whatever it is, and they're acting out of character.
Yes. Because
no one ever actually sat them down and build that strong character in them. Yeah. And some men in the football arena, you see men of character, no matter what they go through, they remain the same.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So this is the reason for this. And what we have been doing is just pretty much kind of going through the Word of God, going through Proverbs in particular, because I believe that Proverbs is written to that young man. Yeah. You know, just imagine David sitting down Solomon and saying, hey, based on my experiences, these are the wise ways of going about doing things. Yes. All right, so now we're in Proverbs 11. Last week we finished up Proverbs 11 verse 13. Anybody just read that real quick, and then we're going to go right into Proverbs 11:14.
A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter.
Okay, all right. So last week we talked about the talebearer. Anybody remember anything when we talked about the talebearer?
Oh yes, he's one that always one that's
what's they thought.
Always the one in the crowd, always with this mouth going like this. He knows everything.
Yeah.
We get there just to talk.
Mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's listening for something he can talk about.
Want to be heard.
Yeah.
Everybody to hear him.
Yeah, so we can go tell stuff.
Or as soon as you tell somebody, say, "Hey, man, listen, confidence, let me pull you aside. Some things I'm going through.
We go.
And
It's just between me. It's just between me and
Gonna
you.
run.
As soon as you
I
give it
won't
somebody
tell
else,
nobody
you
about
tell
it."
it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they get it, they just
Go off.
almost like they take it and begin to start
Running.
spreading your information.
Advertising
All
them.
those-
That's their conversation.
Exactly. So it talks about the talebearer reveal its secrets. That's their role. They reveal secrets. A talebearer will create strife.
Yeah.
You know how does fight start? Oh, because you told such and such. You're not supposed to be told such and such. All right.
I done been through that.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
So we-
Everybody else done been through that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we must never reveal something that's in confidence.
Amen.
And it takes a lot of a disciplined person
Discipline.
and a faithful person to
Faithful.
say, "Hey, Chris told me such and such, and he just came to me and he said, "Hey, I just wanted to share this thing with you."
Yeah.
All right. Next thing I know, I go back and tell
You hear the same thing. You
his
done told.
father. Say, "Guess what? Chris just told me." You know, unless he released that, give me the permission to go back and tell even his
Exactly.
own father,
Exactly.
then I will not tell
Exactly.
until he released that. All right, so you see a talebearer spreading tales can only do one thing, and it's not good.
Not good.
All right. Now, Proverbs chapter 11, verses 14, this is something that I have adopted in my life. You know, like a lot of let's go ahead and read the first and then kind of talk a little bit about it.
Okay, so where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety.
All right. So without counsel, you know, the people said what? The people would what?
Fall.
Fall. Now, what is counsel?
Guidance.
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 Um,
Good stuff coming from a good person that knows, that's spiritual,
Mhm.
faithful, and won't tell you nothing wrong.
Yeah.
It's good counsel.
Yeah. So someone, it might be a mentor, it might be a spiritual father, it might be your own dad or mom, whatever it is.
teacher.
And
Teacher.
Teacher,
Yeah.
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 Professor,
Professor. Yeah.
that you go to them and you getting ready to make a decision, a very big decision. And sometimes we just go ahead and make the decision, not realizing that other people are affected by that decision.
The consequences.
All right.
Yeah.
Years may be lost because of that one decision.
One decision.
Moving from this county to moving to that county. Moving from this state to the next state.
Yeah.
All right. Everything is predicated on receiving wise counsel.
Wise counsel.
All right. Because let's think about it. God has already prepared some things for us, and He positioned it at that place. All right. Give you an example. Abraham. He told Abraham, he said, "Abraham, I want you to get up early. I don't want you to sacrifice your only son. Listen to what I'm saying. You're going to go to a place that you're not familiar with. You don't even have a hotel there. You don't have nothing. You don't have no arrangements there. Just go based on what I said, meaning God. Just go based on what I said." Abraham got up early that morning, knowing that he was going to sacrifice his what?
On the summer.
His only son. I don't know about you, but I've probably been waiting around like around 10:30,
Yeah.
kind of rolling on the bed, like,
Yeah.
So God, are you
Walking around
really
in circles.
sure? You know, it's my only
You
son.
sure? You sure?
You sure it is, right?
Yeah.
You sure this ain't the devil talking? Like it sound like the devil speaking. Get thee behind me, Satan. All right, but God told him something that was that challenged him to the core. You know, is he going to do what I told him to do? In the meantime, God already prepared and put stuff in place at the place of his obedience. All right. So when he got there, saddled his donkey, got to the place. They say, "Hey, servants, you stay here with the donkey while I go over yonder to worship." He went to the place, put the son on the altar, tied up and everything and that. Then he take the sword and he was going to plunge it right through his chest.
Right through his chest.
God says,
Hold it right there.
"Oh yeah,
Hold it right there.
just look over your shoulder.
Yeah.
You see the ram caught in the thicket. There's some bushes."
Yeah.
And at that moment, God revealed to Abraham that I am your provider. That's the first time the word Jehovah Jireh is introduced, meaning that I am the Lord that provides. I'm the character of me to provide for you. It's impeccable, and I will not let you go if you just obey me. So his provision was in the place of his obedience. All right. He got wise counsel from God. Nobody else made a counsel of that. He got wise counsel from God, and he moved on that counsel, and he ended up in a place where he was blessed. All right. So any move, let's advise you guys, any move that you guys want to make, any decisions, you know, it may be marrying someone, you might be coming into, you know, whatever major decision it is. If you don't have at least 2 or 3 people that are in agreement, you know, mom,
No
dad,
good.
and someone that's well trusted,
No good.
all right, I would hold back on it.
No good.
Yeah, I would hold back on it, because you want that harmony and you want that blessings.
Yeah.
You want that
Oh,
harmony
yeah.
and blessings. Say, you know, I remember I brought somebody home, you know, back in New Jersey, feeling all good and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I say, yeah, such and such, this is such and such, this is such and such, dad. You know, very, very nice lady. You know, she got a kid.
Mm-hmm.
With, you know, very nice lady, brought her home. Father treated her with respect and honor. Smiled with her and
After
pack
she
jokes
left.
of it. But after she left, he
left.
pulled me aside and
Yeah.
Jeff said, David,
No.
I wouldn't advise going that route.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What if I would say, man, you don't know what you talk about that. Now, look at her, man. She got everything going on for her.
Oh no.
In the multitude of counsel,
Yeah.
your safety is in that environment.
Yeah.
The moment you step out of that,
Yeah.
you're on your own, buddy.
Package.
Yeah.
She
All right.
bringing some package to the table.
Bringing
you know what I
package
mean?
to the table.
Shoot.
And God
Yeah.
already sees like 5-10 years down the road that
Yeah.
y'all going at each other and y'all
Yeah.
just going crazy and you just life is just a miserable. He sees way down the line and say, hey, based on what I see, let me give you wise counsel.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So let's kind of pause there for a second, because I believe this is important. Let's look at the word counsel. It comes from actually a Hebrew word. The Old Testament was in Hebrew, and the New Testament was in what?
Greek.
Greek. Yeah, Greek and Aramaic. All right. It comes from the word takbula. All right. Takbula. It means properly steerage or properly steering. All right.
Yeah.
It speaks of the management of ropes and guidance and plan. When you see that word counsel, counsel gives you the proper steering. You're not veering off the path where God has you. You stay on the path that God has for you. All right. So guidance, plan, proper steerage. Now let's look at an example of a person that did not follow wise counsel, and that's in 1 Kings chapter 12. First Kings chapter 12, verses 8. And let's look at let's just start with verse 1 and just kind of take our time and just kind of work our way through this. Anybody get it? You just go ahead and start reading it. Start at verse 1.
And Rehoboam went to Shechem,
Shechem.
for all Israel were coming to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass that
Jeroboam.
Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt.
All right, stop there for a second. So we have Rehoboam, we just happened to rhyme, and
Jeroboam.
Jeroboam. All right, Jeroboam was the one that he went to Shechem, for all Israel had gone to Shechem to make him a king. All right, so Rehoboam was in the process of being a king. Let's look at verse 3.
That they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spoke unto Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous?
Grievous, yeah, or heavy.
Now therefore make thou the grievous servants of thy father, and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. And he said unto them, Depart yet for 3 days, then come again to me. And the people departed. And the king Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, How do ye advise that I may answer these people?
All right, stop there for a second. So we have Jeroboam and we have what?
Rehoboam.
Rehoboam with the what?
The king.
The king.
The king,
Soon
right?
to be king.
Yeah, soon to be king. All right.
King.
So now King Rehoboam is now consulting with who? Who's he talking with?
Jeroboam.
No, he
In verse 6, it says,
Talking
King
to-
Rehoboam consulted with who?
The elders.
With the elders.
The elders, yeah.
All right, so elders speak of someone that may have gone and have the experience,
So knowledge of
Wise man.
what's going on.
Wise person.
All right, so these are the multitude of what? Counsel, right?
Counselors, multitude of counselors.
Yeah, these are like people that could give him counsel.
Yeah.
All right, so now look at this now. All right, read verse 6 again.
And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, How do ye advise that I may answer this people?
All right, how do you want me to answer these people? What kind of tone you want me to use to talk to these people?
Mm-hmm.
All right, he's making reference of his father, and now his father now has given the kingship, and now he's taking over that leadership, getting ready to take over that leadership. Verse 7.
And they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto these people this day, and wilt serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever.
All right, so this is actually giving you a leadership class. This is a leadership summit right here.
Master class.
A master class on how to be a leader. The elders now gave him what?
Counsel.
Counsel of how to handle the situation.
Yeah.
If you want people to be faithful to you
Faithful to you.
in a business, corporation, wherever it is, if you just kind of adopt these things here, he's now giving him counsel of how to operate his business, how to operate his corporation, how to operate that church.
So it's prosper.
Yeah, so it's prosper. Because in the multitude of what? Counsel,
Counsel.
there's what?
There's wise people.
There's
Knowledge.
safety.
Safety.
There's safety. All right. Yeah, we're just reiterating the verse that
Yeah.
we just read.
Yeah.
All right, let's read it again. So we just kind of make sure that we're getting it. Verse 7.
And they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto these people this day,
All right. First thing, be a what?
Servant.
A servant.
Servant.
All right. So it's a servant leadership model. All right. You want to be a leader, you be a servant. You show the people what is expected. Not you pointing, you just saying, do that, do that. Do what I say, but don't do what I do. You know, go do this over here, go do this over there. And you're not willing to be that an example by your lifestyle. Your lifestyle should speak of who you are, not just your words.
Right.
All right. If your words are speaking louder than your lifestyle, something is wrong.
Something wrong. Yeah.
All right. Your lifestyle should speak
Before your
on the
word.
Mondays when Quan is hanging out with me. You know, on that trailer, we cutting lawns and we, doing stuff. How am I? You know, when I move about, when I'm not necessarily behind the pulpit preaching. You know, how do I conduct myself? How am I at home? You know, how do I treat my wife? You know, how do I treat my children? You know, that's when you're going to actually know a person for who they are.
We really are.
When you take them out of their element, you know, when they're in a place where they're not necessarily comfortable,
Exactly.
you see the true person that they
True
are.
person.
Everybody could say, yes, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Catch that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. It's YouTube.
Yeah.
Watching too much of that movie there.
Yeah.
All right.
Tyler Perry.
I know who you just.
All right, let's get back on track.
Okay,
Oh
hallelujah.
gosh. All right, so we see here King Rehoboam, he consulted with the effort. We're actually in verse 7. He said, and he spoke to them saying, if you will be a servant to these people today, not tomorrow, today, and serve them. All right. And what else, Joshua?
And answer and speak good words to them.
Speak good words to them. Why is it so important to speak good words to the people that that your leadership over?
You speak the wrong words, you can
Lose your followers.
And lose your followers.
hurt everybody. Speak the wrong
You ever
words.
seen those leaders that they just speak harsh words and they're still with them and say, man, they're just gonna take it. Man, that's just who I am.
Just scared.
Yeah.
Thing it is, you speak you expect this for a leader to show you wisdom and knowledge.
Uh-huh.
To speak, but if the leader telling you a story, how can you follow him?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I
When the
mean?
story don't add up with the
Yeah,
book.
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Don't add up with word.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right. Read the rest of that, Joshua. 7.
And they spake unto him, saying that thou shalt be a servant unto the people this day, and will serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them. Then they will be thy servants forever.
All right.
But
Yeah. So you have the faithfulness. You know, that's a model that we should extract from that and now apply it to when we're world shakers. I mean, I consider you guys all world shakers.
Giving out.
Yeah. But God always surround me with quality, the best.
Yeah.
When I look around, He always surround me with the best, no matter what. You know, I got the best neighbor.
Yeah.
Because it's an opinion. Like, anyway, I have the best son, I have the best daughter. You know, I have the best members, the best wife. You know, you always surround me with the best.
Amen.
People they're gonna shift the world.
Yeah.
You know, somehow you just bring them to me. You know, you trust me with their path, to instruct them and to have them to actually to reflect and to see my life as who it is. It is what it is. You know. All right. So we see here now. Let's look at verse 8 now.
But he forsook,
Forsook
man.
or rejected.
Rejected.
But he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they gave with that which they had given to him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him. And he said unto them, what counsel give ye that we may answer this people who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father did put upon us lighter? And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, thus shalt not speak unto these people that speak unto thee, saying, thy father made our yoke heavy, but thou make it lighter upon us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's limbs.
Don't waste. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Now I want you to read that in because sometimes when you get caught up in the King James, it gives you the these and the thous, and the these and this guy read it now to have a better understanding. So we have King Rehoboam, and he has two. He has advice that's coming to him.
Mm-hmm.
You could either take it from the elders, or you could take it from the boys that he grew up with.
Right.
Young guys just his age or whatever it is. Not
Yeah.
to say that wisdom can't come from them, but
Yeah.
just saying that in this particular example, they were fully equipped to advise him, especially as a king. All right. So now let's read that in the NIV. Reading
Okay.
from verse 7.
Verse 7. They replied, if today you will be a servant to these people and serve them and give them a favorable answer, they will always be your servants. But Rehoboam rejected the advice of the elders gave him, and consulted the young men who had grown up with him, and were serving him. He asked them, "What is your advice? How should we answer these people who say to me, lighten the yoke your father put on us?" The young men who had grown up with him replied, "These people have said to you, your father put a heavy yoke on us, but make your yoke lighter." Now tell them, "My little finger is thicker than my father's waist. My father laid on you a heavy yoke. I will make it heavier. My father scourged you with whips. I will scourge you with scorpions."
Yeah, keep going.
3 days later, Jeroboam and all the people returned to Rehoboam as king, and as the king had said, "Come back to me in 3 days." The king answered the people harshly, rejecting the advice given to him by the elders.
Rejecting the advice of the elders. He rejected it. Keep going.
He followed the advice of the young men and said, "My father made your yoke heavy, I will make it heavier. My father scourged you with whips, I will scourge you with scorpions." So the king did not listen to the people, for this turn of events was from the Lord to fulfill the word the Lord had spoken to Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, through Ahijah, the Shilonite. When all Israel saw that the king refused to listen to them, they answered the king, "What share do we have in David? What part in Jesse's sons? To your tent, Israel. Look after your own house, David." So the Israelites went home, but as for the Israelites who were living in towns of Judah, Rehoboam still ruled over them. King Rehoboam sent the Adoram.
All right, we can stop right there. But the thing is that because he listened to the advice of the young,
Peers.
what?
Of his peers?
Yeah, the peers, and not necessarily of the elders, we can see that his kingship was affected as a result of it. His kingdom, his business, his corporation was affected because he didn't listen to the wise counsel.
Became worse than his father.
It is, Pastor. Ain't no young man gonna be able to tell you nothing. You have to go listen to elder. They get some advice because he done been where you trying to go. You coming from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So can't no young man my age tell me nothing. You know what I mean? I listen to him, but I'm gonna take my advice and my wisdom from an elder man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And just to make this clear, it's not necessarily sometimes the age factor to do with it, because I've seen sometimes a young person that may have carry that wisdom.
Yeah.
It's the position of that person.
Yeah.
In this particular, we give an example of just the age, But someone may be around your peers, and they may be just carrying a wealth of wisdom. Say, hey, let me counsel you in this right here. And someone, because they have gray hairs, may give you something. So you have to be sensitive to
Who take it from?
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, because a person that's younger than me or the same age with me have wisdom, you know what I mean? And he tell me something that I ain't familiar with or something, things like that, you know what I mean? That is strange to my ears.
Yeah.
Then I listen to him, you know what I mean? Because I would say, wow, I didn't know this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially vice versa.
Yeah, but you got the gist of what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
Before we make any major decisions, whatever it is, bounce it off people that you're well respected, and you should be able to kind of get a concessions of, hey, I'm moving in the right path. There's safety here. All right, they got a buffer behind me that's saying, we come in agreement with this decision. Yeah, this is what you should do. All right. Now we see. Let's look at Proverbs 18:24, and then someone else Proverbs 13:20. Proverbs 18:24. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24. Yes.
A man that had friends must shew himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother.
All right. All right. So we have to choose our friends wisely. All right. Because you literally become. All right. Who you're hanging around with. You know, regards of not kind of share. You eventually will become and share some of the things that that you circle yourself with. So be careful who you circle yourself with.
Let me read my version.
Huh?
Read my version.
Yeah.
Amen.
One who has an unreliable friend soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother.
All right. Good.
Yep.
Now quickly, because we're running out of time here. Proverbs 13:20.
He that walketh with wise man shall be wise, but companions of fools shall be destroyed.
All right. So don't you think it's important who you're walking with?
Amen. Got to
I
be.
think it's important.
Got
You want to become wise in a certain area. Surround yourself with that person that's well versed in that area.
Yeah.
You want to become a great leader. Surround yourself. That's a person that's an established leader.
Yep.
All right. A good cook or basis. You surround yourself. You say, hey, I didn't see how you use that progression there. Oh, pretty good. All right, and then he gives you counsel of how you should maybe manipulate the strings in a certain way to get the best tone out of it. Why? Because you surround yourself with that person that's in that area. All right. So that's what I mean. That's just one verse that we talked about where there's no counsel, the people fall, but in the multitude of counsel, there's what?
Safety.
There's safety. All right. So we're going to end right there, and then just want to say to Facebook, not Facebook, but YouTube. Thank you for listening. For those that have young children or high school students, middle age, regardless of how age you are, you can benefit from this. So we definitely thank you for listening.